Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? Yes, it's your Saturday news crew back once again for a bit of wrestling news. But before we get into it, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel down below, and links to all of today's stories are in the timestamps in the description. So just click them and away you go. But what have we got first?
Well, we need to talk about Alexa Bliss, because a lot of crazy stuff. It went down, Phil. It was mad. A lot of crazy stuff went down on SmackDown. And obviously over the last couple of weeks, we've had Alexa Bliss teasing these weird little segments where she gets semi-possessed, like she goes into a weird trance when the Fiend's name's mentioned, and then she does her sister Abigail, kisses people on the head, and it's been really good. I really enjoyed it. And then she just took this up like 10 levels on this SmackDown. She went full Fiend, and yeah, she had a match with Lacey Evans, and halfway through the match there was a weird bit of Fiend laughter, and she was like, I don't like that. And then went to commercial, and she came back, and then it just, everything went fully fiendish then. All the lights and the let me in, and it was, all the rest of it. And she snapped. Just absolutely snapped. Beat the hell out of Lacey Evans. I think Lacey Evans is gone. That's it now. Her WWE career is over. She will never see her again, because she just obliterated her. It was awesome. I loved it. Like, she did the Sister Abigail outside. Then she like got back in and stared at the camera and did like this just super creepy smile when the Fiend let me in stuff came on again. I loved all this. It was great.
Yeah, it was so good. She played it so well as well. She is so good at Sister Abigail's. Like, she's done 3 now, is it? And they're just better than anything Bray Wyatt has ever did. She's really, really, really good at them.
It's really cool because she pitched this apparently, didn't she? A couple of years ago, she said she wanted to work with him.
Because she was talking to Metro, I think it was, and she pitched it back in 2016, back when like she wanted something good to work with on the main roster, back with the Wyatt family things, and thought it would be quite fun. But she did also admit that that idea was like half-formed at best. But as it's gone on, she recently said that like her on-screen characters sort of lost a bit of momentum, and so they've finally come around to the idea of doing something with him. And I mean, she's obviously into it because she's playing it off really, really well. And it's something a little bit different for her. And it must be quite a fun thing to play.
It looks it. But I think the biggest takeaway coming out of this is the fact that when she got up the ramp, she was walking away. Her music came back on, which again was really unsettling because I was like, you just been a Fiend. And now no, don't play the Alexa Bliss music. It's freaking me out. And then she got up the ramp. And Roman Reigns came out, and he came out with his Universal title belt, and I thought, oh, they're just going to ignore each other, and it's just going to be like a seamless roll into the next part of the show. But no, the camera, like, brilliantly lined up, so you just had Alexa Bliss, like, really intensely looking like, I could see that belt there, I'm still possessed by the Fiend, and you've got my belt. And it was, Reigns just stood there looking all badass with Paul Heyman, and I was like, oh, I need this, just give me this feud.
When WWE get their little fingers off the cut button, they have some really, really good moments like that. And it's just when the camera just sort of turns like that, and it just from behind Roman Reigns appears this Alexa Bliss just staring through his soul. It's really good. They are not done with Roman versus Bray.
They're not, but like genuinely, now you've said it, I would have loved this. This just had like 20 cuts, like everywhere. Just like, oh my God, look at her eyes, look at her face. That'd have been really funny.
Yeah. But yeah, finally seems to have gone full Fiend. I guess we'll wait and find out what happens at the pay-per-view, if she's going to be by Nikki Cross's side.
She's gone full naughty, mate. Full naughty.
Yes. Loving it. Really loving it. But speaking of SmackDown, I'll quickly run through everything else that happened. It started off and you had Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn, and it was going to be a one-on-one match, but then it got turned into a triple threat match. The AJ Styles, he hit the phenomenal forearm at the end, and just as he was about to pin Jeff Hardy, in comes up sneaky bloody Sami Zayn, chucks him out and gets the pin. And then AJ Styles just beat them up afterwards, and obviously did the obligatory climbing up the ladder, holding the belts bit that they do before every single ladder match in the history of ever. But that match is definitely going to be for a unification of those two Intercontinental title belts, so that's going to be really good fun. Nakamura beat Grand Metalik because we have to see them fight in some form or other in every show ever. Hit the Kinshasa, and then after the match, bit of Lucha House Party breakup seeds again. Like Dorado was like pushing Kalisto, and they're definitely going to break up soon, aren't they?
Yeah, that's coming.
Corbin beat Riddle. We had another mystery vignette thing for, it's definitely Carmella, isn't it? She wrote untouchable on a mirror, so I guess that's her new catchphrase or whatever. But the biggest thing, I guess, is the Universal title picture. Jey Uso actually proves that he watches the show, like unlike every other wrestler in the history of ever, and called out Roman Reigns for that look that he gave him at the end of the show last week. And Roman kind of like made him wait till the end of the show for an answer, obviously, because he's a bloody bastard. And then at the end of the show, he came out and he was basically saying that Jay's great, like, but he's a twin and he's in one of the best tag teams in the world, and he'll always be important to the family. But Roman Reigns, like, is the family. The family relies on Roman Reigns. He is that top guy, and he always will be. It won't ever be Jey Uso just completely running him down. Like, it's me, it's not you. Give up. And then Jay basically said, like, why can't I be the one? Got really, really fired up at the end. And yeah, said he was going to beat him at Clash of Champions. He had a great line of, people always say that, like, which one are you? It's like, why can't I be the one? But Jay was really, really good in this. Got really, really fired up. And then as he was walking up to the back at the end, when Roman Reigns had buggered off, comes out of nowhere, hits him with the Superman punch, takes him down and yells at him. Really good angle. It's like a go-home thing for Clash of Champions.
Roman Reigns just looked like an absolute monster when he was leant over him with that Universal title, and he was just like, he just looked massive and terrifying. Yeah. And he's never felt this legit ever, and I'm so here for it. Jey Uso is incredible. Jey Uso was so much. He's just held his own all the way through this. Every single promo segment he's had his own little spin of comedy. Like at the start of it, when he was talking about Roman, like not giving him the weird look, he was like, "Hey, what's with the weird look, man? Hey, what's going on? Like, I watch this stuff. What's going on here?" And it was like, you back him and you really want him to win, and it's just, I love this. Yeah. And I'm so glad they pulled the trigger now and didn't just like keep us waiting until Night of Champions, Clash of Champions. Keep doing that. Didn't leave us waiting until then for this little like explosion, because we knew it was coming. And it's just now you go into that match and Jay's thinking, right, I'm gonna absolutely kick your ass now.
Yeah. And the sort of family dynamic, they played it off really, really well, and like the fire in Jey Uso at the end of the show is really, really good. Like showing a bit of a different side to him, but he's still keeping it within the same exact character that he's always been. He's done it. Yeah, he's played it off really well, and this is just good story. It is. Look how easy it is.
It's a very good story. I'm going to go into another good story now, because if anybody was watching NXT this week, you've all seen that Kyle O'Reilly is the man who will now be facing Finn Balor at the next TakeOver, because he won the gauntlet match.
Wait, that's going to be so good.
It's going to be a clinic. If you're going to watch any TakeOver, if you've never watched one before, just do yourself a massive favour. Watch this match, because it's going to be awesome. But it's just been announced for the next week's NXT. I think it's the Go Home NXT now to TakeOver. Is that right? That these pay-per-views is coming every other week now. It's madness. And there's going to be a Shawn Michaels segment. He's going to host a face-to-face meeting between the Prince, Finn Balor, NXT champion, and Kyle O'Reilly. So WWE just issued a really quick press release. They said Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly will go face-to-face just 4 days before their NXT title showdown, and they'll be joined by a WWE Hall of Famer. Shawn Michaels will host a face-to-face meeting between the NXT champion and his next challenger Wednesday night, ahead of their match on Sunday, October 4th at NXT TakeOver 31. So it is being called TakeOver 31. I was very confused about that for a while. O'Reilly earned the right to take on Balor after a gutsy performance in the first ever Gauntlet elimination match, going wire to wire and eliminating 3 competitors en route to the biggest victory of his career. What will unfold during the face-to-face between the Prince and O'Reilly, all the rest of it. But yeah, that's going to happen on NXT. And shameless plug, if you've not watched the NXT ups and downs that went on WhatCulture Wrestling, go and check those out, because I may or may not have had a part to play in them this week, so they're probably worth watching.
Indeed. Looking forward to see what happens. This Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor is going to be so good. Kyle O'Reilly is amazing. And obviously so is Finn Balor. I cannot wait for that match. Like, as soon as that came out, so it's like, oh, this is the match I've always wanted and didn't know.
Yeah, he's great. And Kyle O'Reilly had a really good little Twitter little clip when he was like talking about being in the Eliminator, and then Balor put like, you've always deserved this at this point. You've worked your ass off. Let's just prove we can bring the house down. It's going to be great.
Yep, absolutely. Last thing from me, T-Bar on Twitter, obviously. As bad as Retribution have been on TV, they have been very good fun on Twitter. We've got a couple of things. He's finally explained why WWE would hire the people that have been desperately trying to systematically destroy them for months now. Well, he's got an explanation for it. He basically just said that WWE offered us contracts because it was financially cheaper than all of the security guards we kept injuring. We signed the contracts to pay for our hired guns to do our dirty work. Our goal is still to destroy our current employer, WWE. Then he went on to say, yes, WWE is paying us to destroy their company because we were successfully destroying it regardless. They think if we are under contract, then they can manage our chaos, but they will be unsuccessful. And he just finished it off with, stop overthinking literally everything.
I think the last bit is the big takeaway, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like,
saying, shut up.
Just stop it. Just accept it.
Yeah, I probably want to focus on the first part you said more than anything, because that explanation was a little bit, it is what it is. But on Twitter, they've been great. They've been genuinely really funny. T-Bar, I think he called out Tom Hardy for being like a fake Bane. They all went at Simon Miller the other day. They just started taking shots at him as well. It's great. How have they gone from being so like terrible and just and cringy at the start of the week to being probably the best WWE thing on Twitter right now? It's great.
It's ridiculous, although they're never going to let them show this side of them on the WWE TV, because could you imagine if all of a sudden this like weird badass group that's been trying to destroy them for ages was just like they are on Twitter on TV? It just would not make any sense, but I love it. It's great. It's so stupid. But speaking of them, we have another names have been announced as well, because Mia Yim, she has a Twitter account now and she is called Reckoning. And PW Insider first reported, I think, that WWE filed for some trademarks of a couple of names. One of them was Reckoning, and the other one was Retaliation. So definitely thinking that Mercedes Martinez is going to be Retaliation. So you've got Reckoning, Retaliation, T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace.
The first two sound all right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. They're just the names. Just take from T-Bar what you said at the end. Just don't overthink it. They're the names.
Just go with it. It's fine.
Just go with it. Exactly.
It's still good. It's just a little bit on fire. It's still good.
It's awful. I'm sorry, Phil. Just speaking of Twitter fun exchanges, then let's go in that vein. We've had a really lovely exchange actually between Ken Shamrock and The Rock. So obviously, if you know, like from WWE history, these two shared a big old past, big old history in the early part of both of their careers, in wrestling at least. And Ken Shamrock is now being inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. The upcoming ceremony is going to be over the Bound for Glory weekend. And he took to Twitter he shot his shot, really. He said to The Rock, he just tagged him in it. He said, "Hey, brother, I'm being inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. I would be very grateful if you could send an induction greeting. After all, I believe my time with you was my greatest memories in wrestling. Thank you." And then, lo and behold, about an hour later, The Rock just popped up and he went, "Oh, congrats, my brother. Awesome news. I will take care of this and get it to you by this weekend." And then he put a fist emoji, heart emoji. The Rock's just really nice, isn't he? Just a nice dude,
isn't he?
Yeah, and it's just lovely seeing, no matter how big The Rock's got and the rest of it, he still remembers where he was before this. Now he got there. Do you know what I mean? If he didn't have that feud with Ken Shamrock and get put in those positions because of the way they worked together, he wouldn't have got to the heights he did. So it's just a nice show of respect. I like this.
Paying it back. And weirdly, The Rock's going to be on Impact because of it.
2020 is weird, isn't it? Really weird. Yeah. Really quickly as well, they also they thanked WWE for allowing them to use some footage for a video package as well. So Impact WWE relations right now seem pretty nice and positive. So
nice, lovely. So yeah, let's end with some Twitter questions, shall we? Mainly because Mark Solid sent me a picture of a dog again. So
yeah. I saw this.
Send me a picture of a dog. You get your question answered. So yeah, Mark Solid on Twitter. He said, "Morning, friends. Thoughts on moving Lee to SmackDown to team with Riddle and becoming Limitless Bros? We need tag teams they can dominate, are awesome, and will be better than what they are doing now."
Yeah. I mean, we just need tag teams. Give us some tag teams. I like where Keith Lee's going to a certain degree on Raw. Like, if they're going to keep him in that main event scene, maybe have him challenge whoever comes out at night. Clash of Champions. I swear to God if I said that one more time. If they have him doing that for a little bit longer, I'm quite happy with that. But you're right, we have no tag teams on SmackDown. After the Lucha House Party inevitably implode, we got nobody, really.
Yeah, totally. I mean, they would be an amazing tag team together. But yeah, I think Keith Lee, the position he's in, I think I'd rather see him in the title or in at least a sort of high up singles feud. But what they're doing with him at the minute, he's only won once, technically, like properly, since he got to the main roster, which isn't the best. So they need to sort that out, but I think I'd rather see that. And I mean, Riddle's losing to Corbin, so anything's going to be better than where he is right now, I guess.
It was clean, wasn't it, as well? I'm pretty sure it was clean on. This is what a difference a couple of months makes, eh?
Indeed. Next question comes from Aaron Merkel on Twitter. He says, how come nobody has come up with the camera cut drinking game? A shot for every camera cut. May make watching WWE fun. Just saying, because you die.
Yeah. I was going to say, it'd make it fun for about an hour, and then you'd be dead. It's just too many cuts, man. Like, it would have been fine for that Alexa Bliss segment. It would have been like, oh, okay, nice break. She's looking crazy, and then another one. It's great.
And finally, loads of people have been tweeting this around. It's been doing the rounds for ages. It's been tagged in it loads of times. And Gareth really wanted to do it, so I think he's got something good coming up. But it's the Reckoning name generator thing that's been going around on Twitter. Go on, what's yours?
Well, it's pick the month you were born and then pick the day, so the number you were born on. And I ended up with Loco Steel. I love mine.
Nice.
Mine sounds legit. Mine's not funny. Mine's legit, all right?
Mine is Metal Kick.
It's to the point, though, Phil. It's just
Metal Kick.
I was dying for you to be December 29, so you'd be crispy pastrami. That'd have been good.
That would be good. So let us know down in the comments below what your Retribution name would be and what you think of all of today's stories, including, just all Retribution stuff and Alexa Bliss going full Fiend. Subscribe to the video, like the video, share the video, comment below, and follow us all on Twitter. Why the hell not? You can follow me at PhilMyChambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
You should definitely change it. Go subscribe to youtube.com/kayfabe news for all of your latest satirical wrestling news. We've got a story that just came out yesterday, and massive scoop about a guy who is absolutely distraught because a guy at a sports bar told him wrestling was fake. So go watch that. Go subscribe to Kayfabe News. Disgrace, it's just not.
It's just not true.
What would T-Bar have to say about that?
Exactly. The real Bane.
Most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.
See you later.
Goodbye.